Hello everyone, welcome back to another training session here in the garage gym. Today we are doing a session that I haven't shown on this channel for a long time, and it is my first push session of the week. Usually we focus on the deadlifts or the event session, which is push session number 2 of the week, and more recently we've been doing a lot of the leg days because they've been entertaining. But a session that goes under the radar is my first pressing session of the week because it is possibly the least interesting from a sort of strongman perspective, but from a general gym bro training perspective, it is probably the most replicatable session that I do, and it is simply because of how easy this session is to get done. So we start off with some barbell strict press, then dumbbell bench press, dumbbell shoulder press, and some face pulls. So a really nice, easy session, but that doesn't mean we aren't going to push it hard, because in today's video, we are going for a new strict press PB. That is right, the main goal of today's session is to strict press more on a barbell than I have ever done before, and it is going to be pretty damn heavy. The goal of today is 110 kilograms for at least one rep. It could be anywhere from 1 to 4 reps, but at least 1 rep is the goal. I've never strict pressed anything that heavy in the past, so it should be really fun to get on video for you guys. And then of course we're going to move on to the dumbbell bench, dumbbell shoulder press, just trying to get rep PBs on those each week because we have the one pair of 50 kilo dumbbells and that's it. So just trying to improve the reps on that week in, week out and get better. And then just some face pulls to finish off the shoulders. So it's a nice easy session today. It should only take about an hour, nice and quick, but it should be still a pretty fun one to get on video for you guys. So I am going to start setting stuff up and chat you through exactly why this session is just such a gym bro session, but is very, very well worth it. So today's session then, we do, as I said, the strict press to start things off. And why am I doing it on just a barbell, you may ask, rather than a log or an axle or something like that? And well, just to be completely transparent, I think the barbell strict press is the best for my shoulders and my triceps, whereas a log, because you're starting so far up and out, it's mainly tricep focused, and an axle is pretty much the same as a barbell, but my axle's massive and the barbell isn't, so I thought barbell would be pretty nice, and you can get it really nice and close in and really try and push it with those shoulders, upper chest and triceps. And that is something I am going to distinguish from, because a lot of people think that a standing barbell strict press should be completely upright, rigid, and then up and down. But the problem is with that is because your head's in the way. It's so far out over your center of mass that it just doesn't make sense. So by holding the bar here with the bar in front of you, going in front of your face and up, you could see, hopefully, that it is completely out in front of me, and that is one way to completely lose your position. But with the barbell strict press, what you should be doing is getting that nice and close in to your collarbone in your rack position, and then hinging the upper back like so, and your head back, and then it is completely over your spine and over your center of mass, so that when you push, it goes back over your face and then head through, and you're able to keep that much more solid and over your center of mass, and not to mention recruit some upper chest muscles, which are going to provide a lovely bit of pop off the chest that your shoulders might not be able to provide. Obviously, it is a much more shoulder-focused exercise, but if you think about when you sit to do dumbbell shoulder press seated, you never sit directly straight upwards. There's always a little bit of lean in you sat on the bench, and that's exactly what we're replicating here just by standing. So we are going to get warmed up. You're going to see me get into that position more and more as we go up, and hopefully we will be able to strict press something heavy. So I am suited and booted now. The lifters provide a little bit of a raised heel, so I can lean back a little bit more without falling over, getting my body into an advantageous position. We've got the belts on, 2 belts, the soft one and the hard one. The soft one is more for comfort than anything. I feel like it really helps just be comfortable, help me push into the hard belt without causing any sort of discomfort. And then we've got the hard belt. Today I've got it on the middle setting, because with the strict press, you want a nice locked in core, but you don't want it so tight that you can't hinge your upper back at all. So leaving it a little bit looser today to help with that hinge that I was on about. And today We are going to start with the empty bar, obviously, as we always do, and then up it by 20 kilos until we get pretty heavy. And then the last couple jumps will be 10 kilos, warming the shoulders up, ready for the top set. But the first set here is just a feeler set, making sure we just get a nice stretch down into the shoulders, work our shoulders down, work our sleeves to make them nice and springy. Obviously, these sleeves don't provide too much extra help. It's more just the warmth in the joints and keeping my elbows nice and healthy. So you'll see as I go on the reps here, they'll probably get lower and lower in the rack position until I am more comfortable. So let's smash out the first set. And it's worth mentioning that I like to take about a thumb width grip away from the center of the bar. And you'll see that my forearms, when they're in the rack position, should be parallel to the floor, perpendicular to the floor rather. So they're vertical when the floor's horizontal and not at an angle. So you should see in that rack position, my forearms are completely vertical. I can let the bar sink in, lean a bit further back, and then bang, up above my face. Get a bit of shoulder mobility sorted, but overall feeling pretty good. So yeah, as I said, just going to keep up in the weight and then we will start getting pretty heavy. So first jump I'm going to make is the 15s. These are the smallest plates I can manage in this gym without hitting the ceiling. So a lot of people, when they see, particularly my YouTube shorts, about my strict press, often questions the weight because I'm not using sort of standard size plates, but that is purely just because of the ceiling height of the room. So these are 15s, the slightly smaller ones are 10s, and the slightly smaller ones, those are 5s. And you'll see that it does indeed make 110 when we get up to the top set, but for now, it does look a bit silly. So now we are adding wrist wraps into the equation, now that we've got some weight on the bar and my sort of shoulders are a bit more warmed up. So with these, I like to make them fairly comfortably tight, not quite as tight as I would on, say, a log or a circus dumbbell or something like that, because with those, you're really trying to immobilize the joint so that you've got a nice solid position. Whereas with this, I like a little bit of flex in the wrist, because when I hold the bar for strict press, I like my wrists to be slightly back so I can stack the joint through my forearm and elbow and make a nice solid press over my head. Whereas with a log, because it's neutral, it's already stacked above the joint, so you don't need that outward flexion. So we can do them a bit tighter. But for this, a little bit looser is perfect. So exact same with this set. We are just going to get a feel for the rack position. Obviously, we now got some weight on the bar, but just get the rack position more comfortable, start exploding up a bit more, not taking so long between reps, and then we will keep adding weight and doing less and less reps, and more just comfort feeler sets. So yeah, nice and easy. I've also had a few comments about my breathing and bracing and my option to hold my breath while doing the reps, saying it is not optimal for me. It is. I've trained myself for many years to hold my breath for at least 3 to 5 reps while doing something. I feel like it keeps a really nice, solid core brace. You're not going to run out of oxygen in that short a time. The set's going to last, 10, 15 seconds for 5 reps. It's nothing. So everyone should be able to hold their breath for that long. And keeping a really nice, solid intra-abdominal pressure helps to stay stable. If you're trying to breathe and fight, it's not going to be good. It's going to be really, really weak in the core. If you do absolutely need to breathe, do it while you are locked out and stable, because then you're not relying so much on your core stability, more the loading of your joints. Never, ever, ever breathe during the rep. That is how you lose core stability and possibly cause injury. So if you can, hold your breath for the set. If it's a long set or you find yourself needing to breathe, do it while locked out at the top, because that's your most stable and strong position. Get one big breath, back in, brace again, and then continue. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of you already know everything that I'm saying in this video and you're just here to watch my training. But there are a lot of people who do watch my videos that are much earlier along the journey into strongman and lifting in general that might get some use out of this. So I always like to go over what I'm doing in these videos and the reasoning behind some of my choices. And even if there is something that I don't explain to you guys, feel free to leave a comment. I reply to them all, and I will sort of talk about my rationale behind everything. A lot of the stuff I do does have reasons behind why I do it, so feel free to ask. But now we've got 70 on the bar. We're getting a bit heavier now, a bit up towards the weights where we're going to start feeling like there's weight on the bar. So I'm going to do 3 solid reps at this, and then from this point onwards, we're going to do singles just to get the shoulders warm and used to lifting heavy weights before we go to the top set. So 70 kilos, again, wrist wraps, fairly loose, but not too loose. And then hopefully, again, this should absolutely fly when we press it up overhead. So nearly buggered up the re-rack there, but it's fine. That's why the safeties are up. As it gets heavier, if I do that again, that's not going to be good. But, you know, it's feeling easy. It's feeling comfy. I just didn't realise quite how far over this side I had gone. But let's load up the next weight, which will be 90. From 90 onwards, we're just going to do slightly easier jumps with just 10 kilo. Because 90 is where we start sort of getting into nice and heavy territory with strict press for me. So anything over 90, I usually consider a working set. So the fact we're going over 100 and 100 to the last warm-up, not long ago, my PB for 1 was 95. So made some serious progress with the strict press. And the reason being, obviously strict press is never really taxed in strongman. It's never something we have to do. But if you do find that your push press goes to pot on a log, on an axle, having the power to hopefully rescue it with a strict press is very, very useful. Not to mention strict press is one of the best ways to build lockout power because you're fully relying on the triceps and the shoulders to get that weight up, no leg drive. So I highly recommend, if you're like me and doing 2 pressing sessions a week, do a strict pressing session to work that solid lockout power, whether that be a bench press, a pin press, a strict standing shoulder press, something like that where you're not using your legs to help the movement. And then on the second pressing day, work your push press technique and utilize that strength you're building in the first pressing session to get the rep. So I'm going to rest up a bit, then we'll smash 90 for a single. Easy peasy. It's amazing that 90 is just flying like that. I won't lie, it got a little bit away in front of me, but I managed to bring it back and get a bit of a lean on. If this just goes even slightly wrong, it can get out of whack. But yeah, we're going to up it to 100, do our final warm-up, and then we'll see where we stand. So I'm going to be honest there, the last warm-up didn't move as well as I perhaps wanted. It got a little bit forward on me. I wasn't leaning back enough, really. I wasn't engaging my glutes enough, but it's fine. What I'm looking for out of a last warm-up is just a smooth rep, which it was. It just wasn't super quick, which is, again, absolutely fine. Now it is the time that counts. I'm going to be realistic here. I think only a single is probably possible at this weight. It might even be that we fail it. It is a PR attempt. It's a PB attempt. This is the heaviest I've ever done on a strict press. But hopefully, if I can nail my line right, it'll go up. If I lose it in front of me, we might have an issue. But shoulders are feeling strong. Triceps are feeling strong. We're now certainly very warmed up. So the last thing to do is just to get in, smash it, and get it done. So let's see how many reps we can get with 110, if one at all. I'm only 125 kilo body weight, so this is going to be a pretty mean feat to strict press the 110. So yeah, hopefully we should be getting some pretty good reps out today. So let me focus and let's try and do it. Well, I certainly don't think we can be disappointed with that. Can we? 110 for a double. After that last warm up, I was genuinely solidly set on getting one rep if it killed me, because the warm up didn't feel great. I kept losing reps out in front of me, but I got my line perfect on both the first and second rep there. And my triceps are getting strong. I'm hitting that sticking point and I'm able to fight through it for not one, but 2 reps. That is honestly a monumental PB on the strict press. It really, really is. My strict press PB before this was a very ropey 107.5. And before then, yeah, it's been tough to get up to this 110 mark. Strict press has been the thing that has made the most insane progress in the last couple blocks, and for it to culminate with a 110 kilo double is just absolutely mind-blowing. I now need my push press to sort of catch up again, because my push press PR on a log is only 122 kilos. So now that the strict press power is getting actually quite close to that, we need to get this log up to 130. So that is our plan. But I am absolutely ecstatic with that. If you enjoyed seeing me hit a PR for a double, go down below, click like on the video, and comment down below what your strict press PR is, and indeed what your favorite overhead movement is. Because for me at the minute, barbell strict press has got to be up there as one of my favorites. It's really, really fun. It's super easy. You could do it anywhere, and I'm having a blast with it. But as you could see, I put away the bar, put away everything. I've got the bench out, and that is because it is time for dumbbell bench press. And as I mentioned, we've only got the 50 kilo dumbbells, so we are trying to improve our rep count on those for the foreseeable future. The rep count on today's session is 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps. I've managed the 8 reps multiple sets in the past. I think today my rep number might be a little bit down on what it was a few weeks ago, just because we have just gone to the wire on a max effort strict press PR. So my triceps are likely going to be a bit fried, but we're going to try our best to get as many reps as possible. Luckily, we have the rep range to work within. So I'm going to film a couple of those sets of me doing dumbbell bench press, and we will see how it goes. The hardest thing with dumbbell bench is getting into position. I have no problem on incline or shoulder press, but on flat bench, I find it terrifying and pretty awful. So I'm still getting used to it, but yeah, flat dumbbell bench, 50 kilo dumbbells. Let's see what we can do. So it seems to be a trend, this video, of doing better than I expected to. I got 3 sets of 8 there, so smashed out the full rep range, but you could really tell on that last set, I filmed the last 2 sets, so the final set there, my triceps were giving me problems. That 8th rep, even though it looked fairly comfortable, you could probably tell by the sounds I was making that it was a little bit tougher than perhaps I wanted, but I mean, we're holding out really well. 50s for 3 sets of 8 like that it's mental to say that my pressing is getting this strong. I always considered pressing a weakness of mine, and we've just been hammering it hard the last year or two, and it is becoming one of my strengths. So I'm really, really pleased with how everything's going so far this session, and we're not done yet. We got seated shoulder press with the same 50 kilo dumbbells. So that's of 6 to 10. These I fully expect to not get anywhere near 10 on. My triceps and shoulders are completely gone now, but yeah, we'll give it our best shot. Again, I'll film the last 2 sets of those, and we should be having a pretty fun time. But so far, this has been a fantastic strongman session, and it should show a really good insight into how you might be able to do some strongman training in a commercial gym, because nothing I've done today screams specialist equipment, screams specialist even strongman training. It's just good old-fashioned strength training with a barbell and dumbbells. You could do that anywhere. So let's smash them out. Let's get these final sets done of heavy pressing, and then it's just some face pulls and we're done. Absolutely belter session. Really enjoying it. Let's finish it off with style. So the keen eyed among you will have seen that was only one set of the dumbbell shoulder press, and it was a struggle for 6 reps, and that is because I completely forgot to record my second set. I did the first, got 6, did the second, got a pretty tough 6, and then remembered I was supposed to film it, so filmed the third, which I was going to do anyway, and really nearly didn't get the 6. It was tough, it was heavy. My shoulders and triceps are now completely and utterly fried, but it's been a fantastic session, really. Hitting the numbers I'm supposed to all round, PBing in strict press. It's been phenomenal. It's been such a good session. I cannot stress enough how good of a session today's been. I'm so glad I chose this week's shoulder session to film for you guys, because I said it usually goes under the radar as one of my not so interesting sessions, and today it was just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really pleased with how that went. All I've got to do now is to finish off with some band face pulls, nice and simple, with a band, just like that. It's face pulls. You know what they look like. Not going to bother filming them. Honestly, I'm pretty knackered right now. So I think I'm going to call it there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this session. As I said, it's been a absolutely phenomenal session today. Really just immense. It's been so good. So if you enjoyed it, please be sure to go down below, click like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new here on the channel. We do all of our strongman training leading up now to Oxfordshire's Strongest Man, and we also do our Friday talks every week, where we either talk about the pro strongman circuit, general strength training stuff, controversial things, you know, anything you guys want me to talk about, I'll do a video on a Friday talking about them. So if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But anyway, thank you once again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.